Hello everyone. Today is May 5th, 2016, and I'm going to title this video Earth and Sky because I want to talk a little bit about the Earth and a little bit about the sky, the cosmos, and how it is affecting our planet at this time. Of course, this is a subject I've spoken about before. There are a lot of different levels to look at, and things are always coming up on the internet that I'm going, I'd like to kind of look into this and explain this facet of it, at least from my Thothic perspective. And so that's what I'm going to be doing today. Now, I did a video not too long ago called The Purifier, but it is for portal subscribers only. But I will say here briefly that it was on the Hopi prophecy and showing a video clip that I had found on the web about this and interrupting it at points for me to add my commentary. But if you're a portal member, you can go back and look at that, and it'll help kind of fit all of this together. But in essence, what it's really about is that we are moving into a vibration where other worlds exist, where other aspects of our world that we were not aware of exist. So it's not like a planet is coming toward us. Really, no planet is coming toward us. We are moving into a zone of a greater perception, and things were already there. So we are connecting to those things. It's a vibrational shift is what it is. And yes, it's affecting the Earth's magnetic field. This article here on the web is saying that the Earth's magnetosphere collapsed in space for 2 hours on the particular day that this was given, which was April 24th. It goes on to report satellites from the NASA Space Weather Prediction Center detected a complete collapse of Earth's magnetosphere. It simply vanished for just over 2 hours, resuming as normal around 3:39:51 Eastern Time. So, this sounds really dramatic, and indeed it is. However, from Thoth's perspective, from what I'm receiving, the magnetosphere didn't disappear. We made a jump in energy as a planetary whole that caused us not to be able to perceive it because it was operating at a higher frequency, which is good. It's good. So, there's some scary looking things coming up, but we have to realize that these are symptomatic, and as we move into the zone that we're supposed to be moving into, those symptoms will disappear because the cause will be removed. And we're moving into an energy level where we're going to be picking up on this other zone. Now, there's some bad news in this, and that is those of us on the planet, I've said this many times, who aren't prepared to make this transition. And I don't mean, that you have to believe in a certain religion or you have to study my work or anybody's work or anything like that. When I'm talking about being prepared, I'm talking about the inner being, what your inner work is about. You don't have to be angel with wings. You don't have to do everything perfectly. You just have to have a certain amount of heart resonance and true organic awareness. I call it organic because that term to me expresses that you don't have to read about it in books. You don't have to believe something that somebody else said. All you have to do is be in touch with your true higher self on a level that's, normal on this earth. And it will become increasingly higher as you do so. But those individuals who are not doing that are going to find themselves in some very rough water and will eventually leave when the planet disintegrates on the level that is disintegrating. Remember, we're moving to a higher state of being, and the planet's moving with us. As we reach the level that we call the bridging, or Thoth calls the bridging, which is the pyramidus radius, where we're inside that matrix, We're going to be experiencing all of this big time. And the others who have chosen not to be there are going to be experiencing some things that are very scary. We're going to be sort of aware of them, but it's not going to affect us directly. Now, when we move into the LP40 ascension process, that happens a lot faster, and we're moving into a higher zone. And even then, those that haven't chosen all of this can still choose at the last minute to do that. I have another video on all of that, so I won't go into it here. That doesn't mean that a lot of beautiful souls aren't going to perish in some calamities, some catastrophes. People that are, beautiful, everyone's a beautiful soul really on the higher level of being, so I don't mean to differentiate that way. But I'm talking about souls that are aware. Some of them are going to choose to cross over to help others on that other level, and they're doing it all the time. As I'm speaking, people are transitioning on this planet all over the place, and they're good people, and they're very aware people, some a lot more aware than I am. And that's a whole nother discussion, But I'm talking about the planetary process, the escalation of cataclysmic events, and there will be souls who are aware that will be perishing in some of those and have already in earthquakes and whatever. But what I'm speaking about here is that the acceleration that we see of these huge accelerations going on, the magnetosphere disappearing for 2 hours, these things, a lot of them are not as they appear to be. And even when they are as they appear to be, they are symptomatic of something that's changing rapidly. The core of what is causing those symptoms will no longer be present for those of us who are accepting in our spiritual inner being these changes on whatever level we interpret them. It doesn't have to be the fancy words that I received from Thoth or some religious context at all. So then you may ask, what good is all of this that I'm doing and others who are bringing these things forward if you're just receiving them internally? Well, you are receiving them internally. That's where it comes from. But there are sources, such as myself and others, who are kind of helping you get the bigger picture and work with it. Those of you who are, coming across this work and resonating with it, it's a helpmate. I'm not dismissing that by any means, or I wouldn't be doing this. But I'm just saying that there are people out there that are mowing the grass in Indiana and have good hearts and good souls, and, they don't know about all this stuff or believe in it necessarily, but they're good people. And when the time comes, they're going to be accessing this if they choose in their higher, deep spiritual being. So I always want to stress that when I'm talking about this, these will do this and that will happen and these people will not choose. And, I just want you to understand that this is really a very loving and caring and compassionate movement that we're going through between Mother Nature, between Gaia and her beautiful soul, and the cosmic presence, the source, God, whatever you want to call it, and the helpmates on all planes of experience and being. It's a compassionate, loving movement. Nobody's going to be just tossed aside because they didn't read chapter 27. It doesn't work that way. And then there is this image of a red triangle in space. It is referred to by astronomers as the red triangle, and it is the mysterious structure surrounding a star called HD 44179. The straight and symmetrical lines, usually not found in space, have attracted the attention of astronomers ever since the first image of the structure was taken. The red triangle is in fact a bizarrely shaped nebula, a cosmic cloud of gas and particles, and in this case, the mysterious formation is composed of the central star called HD 44179, which according to astronomers is reaching the end of its life. The Red Triangle Nebula is about 2,300 light years away in the constellation of Monosaurus. I believe that's a unicorn, a faint constellation on the celestial equator. The protoplanetary nebula was discovered in 1973. However, the binary system at the center of the nebula was first discovered by Robert Grant Aitken in 1915. So it's been doing this for a long time, and said recently NASA scientists have discovered that the star is in fact a binary system, meaning that the central star is accompanied by another star in their journey across the universe. So they really don't know a lot about it, but when it was brought to my attention, I had that feeling that I would like to check with Thoth about it. So I asked, and what I received was that this type of nebula, and the article says there are others out there, but not too many, they've seen way distant, there are some others, all very puzzling. I believe they said there were others. Anyway, this type, so apparently there are others from Thoth's perspective, is actually restructured. In other words, the whole nebula wasn't created, but it has been restructured by Elohim, beings of high vibrational frequency beyond anything we can imagine. Ta-da! Those beings. And they have restructured these forms for purposes probably way beyond the topic that I'm dealing with today. A very long story, none of which I really know at the moment. I could probably get something on, but I'm not really feeling to go there. But what is important, and I would like to say right now, is that, this is done in a lot of places. It isn't just a natural process, because Elohim work with the natural processes too. But he's saying that sometimes they create out of the box. They create structures in tandem with ultra beings that are very highly evolved as well, for purposes that are very positive and beautiful and divine, that help the whole construct. But he's also saying, and this is really important, that we are going to become aware of more and more of this sort of thing, not just that our telescopes are getting stronger, but that we will be seeing things that were there in front of us that, as I said before, we hadn't seen before. So it's all kind of in the mix. Now, this particular redshift thing was discovered, what did it say, back in the 70s or something? But nevertheless, there are going to be coming up in front of us amazing things out there, like this that's affecting the energy of our planet that we're calling Nibiru approaching, which is really not quite that. But we're going to be experiencing more and more and seeing more and more. It's really an exciting time. A whole universe that was really there for us. We didn't know it. We're going to start seeing, not because the telescopes get stronger. I mean, that's a factor, of course. But that's not the real reason, the big reason. It's going to be because we see them, because we're ready to see them. Our vibrations are shifting, the planetary vibrations are shifting to be able to accommodate us in this way. So exciting, beautiful things coming. Yes, we have some challenges. We've always had challenges, and there are going to be maybe a few more coming up, but the perks are going to be stronger, better. Instead of just trying to wallow, get out of that wallowing in the mud, just keep our heads up, keep going for the day when better things will come. Now better things are coming. So it's easier, I'm thinking, to deal with the challenges because we're in the midst of the good things too, and it's there. It's not even the light at the end of the tunnel that we're seeing. It is the end of the tunnel that we're seeing. We're just almost on the lip of it. And this is very good news. And so that's really all I had to share in this particular video. And I hope you have received from it what you feel you needed to receive. And I'm going to move on to something else. So have a wonderful day. Aloha.